We are going to be ranking all Chapter 5 Season 4 guns, and as always, drop a like if you enjoyed this video to support the channel. And let's get straight into it. Starting off with the Sovereign Shotgun. This is a type of gun to surprise you with 150 damage when you don't expect it. This shotgun is usually best paired with a jetpack, and if you don't have one, it's tough to get close enough. And for that reason, I'm going to put this in C tier. Next up, we have Gatekeeper. This is easily the best shotgun we have this season. And if you pair it with the extended mags to get those 5 shots, it's unreal. The only caveat here is when you want to reload, you have to reload all the magazine at once, and you can't do a bullet at a time. So as long as you have a secondary gun, you should be good. And the Gatekeeper shotgun is going to easily make it to the S tier. And that brings us to the pump. Now let's be real, if you like the pump, then I should be the one taking advice from you, because you're probably cracked at this game. The only thing I'm cracked at is disappointing my parents. Because it has one shot in the chamber, and because it needs to be paired with another gun, the pump is going to sit at the A tier. Which takes us now to Captain America's shield. And that's really all I can say. But when it comes to the War Machine's auto turret, whether it's paired with a jetpack or not, this is an advantage you can't miss out on. If you're flying above people, it'll easily target them for you. And that extra damage that you'll get off might be all you need to get that win. Just keep in mind that if you're in the bush or someone else is in the bush, it won't shoot at all. But because of the lack of effort it takes to operate this gun, it's going to be an easy S tier. And if you're looking to get to Diamond, be sure to always have this in your inventory. But when it comes to the War Machine, as long as you're mid-range or close range, it's amazing. I mean, what else can you expect from an SMG? The fire rate and potential damage output on this is going to put it in A tier. And that's why I don't prefer using it with a jetpack, because you'll be so far from the person that you'll barely be doing any damage. And so you're better off using an assault rifle to get the damage off and end the person before he makes you a living piñata. Now, I know jetpack is technically not a gun, but we're gonna have to add it here, and it's definitely going at the top of S tier. It seems like this whole season just revolves around it, and as long as you have it, you'll be safe. But if you don't, you're at a big disadvantage. But because you're watching this video, I hope your next chest has it. Going to Dr. Doom's Arcane Gauntlet. There's something that I learned the hard way, that if you right click using this gauntlet, not only do you deal 90 damage, you can actually break a shield bubble. I thought I was safe in it until he shot me, and I was left there with no builds in an open area. And I would have told you to let me cook, but I draw the line at scrambled eggs. But when it comes to the Black Panther claws, the mobility is insane. At the start of the season, I didn't know how good these were. But using your stamina, if you jump up and left click, you'll be able to cover so much distance, and that means engaging and disengaging. And because of the control these give you, you can't miss out on them. I do notice a lot of people getting greedy, and as soon as they go in, they try to use the claws to kill someone, but you're better off switching to a shotgun and getting off more damage. But I can't begin to say how underrated these are. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to put them up on A tier. Bringing us to the Monarch pistol. This is loved by so many, but I've never seen a more overrated pistol. I get the damage output could be insane, but this only applies to people that are really good at the game. And that means for the majority of people, we're better off with an AR than using this pistol. But if you find no trouble landing your shots, then I definitely recommend you pick this up. Sometimes even instead of a shotgun. But for me right now, this is going to go in B tier. So many people are sleeping on this next gun, and that's the Ranger pistol. You guys have to hear me out on this. If you're able to put a scope on this, it's almost as good as an AR, and in many situations in early game, I would choose this over a shotgun. That being said, I'm talking about a great shotgun, but if you pair it with one, it's even better. The fire rate and the damage output is insane, and it makes it so much better that you can reload quick too. But I find you get the most value out of this early game. So if you guys do end up seeing one, don't hesitate to try it out, because this is the most forgotten gun in Fortnite right now. But you already know what's coming, because this is going to be an easy S tier. And speaking of being forgotten, that brings us to the Hyper SMG. Now if you choose this SMG over the Dual Micro SMGs, I would suggest you seek help immediately. Jokes aside, it's not bad, has a decent firing rate, but the accuracy is horrible. So I'd rather take the faster fire rate from the Dual SMGs over having to deal with it. When you use this gun in medium range, you almost can't hit a bullet. I only see the value in really close range shots, and you can't assume that that's every fight you're gonna have. And for that reason, I'm out. Jokes aside, we're gonna let this rest here and put it at a C tier. And that brings us to our beloved AR, the Striker AR, also known as the Scar. The thing about the Scar is that it's almost only usable when you have a scope on it. And without any attachments, the bloom is insane and it's very inaccurate. But the medium range fights with that higher fire rate makes it a great gun. But because of how limited it is, we're gonna have to put this low on the tier list, and I'd say that a B tier is very fitting for the Scar right now. If you guys have a good configuration for this gun, let me know in the comments below, because I haven't found one that really works perfect. And that's why I end up with a combat assault rifle instead. But before we get there, let's talk about the Striker burst rifle. I don't know what it is with this gun, but late game, everyone has a gold one. And if you're able to get an attachment that minimizes recoil, this gun has an insanely accurate 2 shots. You'll be able to deal 100 plus damage in a split second. As long as you pair it with another gun that has more bullets in the chamber, like any shotgun but the pump, this will be a perfect fit. But it has the same idea when it goes to scopes. You always want a scope on an AR. I prefer the red dot sight, some people prefer stronger ones, but it's all a preference at the end of the day. As long as you have a scope on it, you should be good. But one thing about ARs is I always go for the suppressor that minimizes recoil. You can't miss out on that, even on the normal ARs. The amount of stability you'll have will let you land a lot more shots than you thought you could. And that brings us to my favorite assault rifle right now, and that's the Combat Assault Rifle. The way I think about this gun is it's basically a Scar on steroids. But one thing you need to keep in mind is you need to manage the recoil even more. So if you can get those attachments, or you find a gun with those attachments, you got all you need. This gun works so well in medium to long range, and it's not a gun you want to miss out on if you want to make it to the late game. And that brings us to the perfect loadout for this season. And as you can imagine, the shotgun you're going to want to choose is the Gatekeeper. Not just any Gatekeeper, the one with the attachment that gives you 5 shots in the chamber. You'll be able to easily win close range fights with this gun, and because you have 5 shots, you won't need to reload. Those 5 should be enough for you to hit 200 or 250 if you're playing zero build. Keeping in mind that you'll always want a jetpack for that mobility. But if you can't find one and it's not your lucky day, then using the Black Panther claws will do. Just make sure you manage your stamina the same way you would if you have a jetpack. Because if you engage and you have no stamina left, not only can you not run, you'll be a free kill. You'll leave yourself vulnerable and you'll probably get picked. And if you're having a really bad day and you can't even find these claws, just make sure you have impulses. But for the next one, a lot of people are going to disagree, but you're going to want the War Machine's auto turret. The lack of effort to deal a little extra damage could be all you need to win that fight. Best part about this is it's more than just a turret. If someone's behind you and you can't see them, this turret will let you know, and that information could be all you need. So make sure you pick this up with the jetpack, and you'll be guaranteed to make it to the end game. But the one thing that's so underrated that not many people carry is either a shield bubble or a bunker. Now everyone has their preferences. I prefer a shield bubble, but it's a better idea to carry these shields than carry healing, because these shields are going to be what you need to win the fight, and as soon as you do, you can take the other guy's loot and heal with it. And that's the confidence you're going to have if you use this loadout. But that brings us to the last item, and probably the most crucial one, and that's the assault rifle. There's 2 ways you can go here. You can go for the striker burst or the combat assault rifle. I usually prefer going for the combat, but if I'm not fortunate enough to find a gold one, I'll stick to the striker burst. Making sure you got the recoil suppressor to keep those shots extremely accurate. You'll be able to get off so much damage before you even start the fight. And this is my ideal loadout. Let me know what your guys' perfect loadout is, and so I don't cry myself to sleep tonight, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe.